Tonight is week 2 of the Ask Sean sessions. Glad to see everyone here tonight. We've got pretty much a full house. So please do not drop off the call. If you do get disconnected for whatever reason, you might not get back in. So try and make sure that you stay in here as long as possible. We've got a lot of cool stuff to cover tonight. Had a lot of questions, and again, I can only go through a few at a time. So we're going to try and do 10 of the best questions every single week, and try and answer them as fully as possible, so that, you know, if they're questions that I feel other people are having problems with, I will also jump in there, you know, try and do what I can to help other people as well who may be facing the same roadblock. Now, with that being said, some of you may or may not know we had a very interesting webinar it was on Monday. It was actually one of the reasons we moved the date of this call, because we started doing a very interesting webinar with Anik Singhal, who you all may know from Launchtree, Affiliate Classroom, Pay-Per-Click Classroom. Dude's responsible for some of the largest product launches out there. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars worth of launches. So we've been working with him and Saj Plurk, who you might know from ClickBank. In fact, those two together recently launched the very successful ClickBank Wealth Formula together. And we're actually working on a collab product called Affiliate Movie Profits. Now, here's the thing. We were going to sell this to the public, and we actually decided, let me just show you here, we actually decided we weren't going to do that because we wanted to get some people on board who were doing some case study stuff. So if you saw emails from Anik or Saj or myself, this is what we're working on. And you can actually go here right now. After we finished here, I do suggest you go check this out. What we did here was a 2-hour webinar where I gave out some of my absolute best affiliate movie secrets, and you know how to make money on YouTube. We actually did a 5-day case study where we got over 5,000 views and $700 in just 4 days. Now, this was absolutely amazing. There's some really killer stuff here. And I know that once you get into this and have a look at this, you'll absolutely love it. But here's the thing. At the end of this, we decided we were going to take on some video marketing apprentices. Now, here's the thing. It's very difficult to put all this together. There's a lot of information in here. We actually have about 14 hours worth of modules that we were putting together, and we were only accepting 25 apprentices. Now, what we did, and I'm just going to skim through, we got all this cool content. Go look at it, absorb the content, and you'll see what we're talking about. But at the end of that, we decided we were only going to take on 25 apprentices where I would teach everything I know about video marketing too. Now, you had to fill in a form, and if you want to go ahead and do this, I've opened up 5 more spots just for my inner circle members. So go have a look at this, watch the video from start to finish. Then at the end, there's a link to an application form. And if you are considered and accepted as one of the apprentices, you will get exclusive access to one of the best video marketing courses out there. And you'll be personally tutored by me. So some very cool stuff indeed. So go watch that, and you can get to it from themanicmarketer.com/AMP webinar. Now that is your special private link. Please do not share this with anyone. This is exclusively for my inner circle members only. So if you get your hands on this, go watch this and you'll see what that was all about. So that was the first question from today, because I had a lot of people asking, hey, I got an email from Anik, Saj, what was all that about? And one other question that was related to that I got was, will you have affiliate movie profits on your site, and will this be part of the inner circle? Unfortunately not. No, this is something very private and exclusive I'm doing with Anik Singhal and Saj. This is a joint venture of epic proportions, and again, this is very, very private and closed off. Now, if we release it in the future, we'll have to see, but I do not think this is going to be part of the inner circle. It's such a high-level course that it really would not be part of this. But I will be able to sort something out for my Inner Circle members. Maybe a little money off, maybe a little extra here and there. You know, I like to treat everyone with the utmost value, so I always like to give my members a little extra here. So, that being said, what's the next question? Moving on from that, and again, I've got the little link here at the bottom. Now, the next question, kind of related to this, which is why I'm tackling it now, is what is the best way to get videos ranked? Well, what I want to cover real quick is, you can see this, the case study here, but one thing we did, you can see here, is this is part of our 5-day test that we ran. Now, I only launched this video on August 3rd, 2010. If you go into YouTube right now, go to just type in StarCraft 2 Gameplay Secret. The first video that pops up is mine. It's StarCraft 2 Gameplay Secret Tutorial. Now, again, I'm recording this as a video, so you'll be able to see this after we're done here. But that video was only launched on August 3rd, and it's already got, and this is being August 8th or 11th, I'm sorry, but that already has 15,000 views, and that made over $1,000 in just 7 days, I think it was. Absolutely amazing results, and the reason it ranked so well was really because I hit target terms that really are very popular. Now, that's how that worked, and that's part of the video sniper method I cover in that webinar. But there are several things you need to do to get your actual video ranked well in Google if you want to get ranked there. First of all, you've got to have visitors. So do whatever you can to target visitors, terms that people will actually search for, not only in YouTube, but also in Google as well. Now, having the right title helps immensely. You've got to target the right terms. For example, with the video I'm showing on my screen, StarCraft 2 gameplay was one of the top terms. I identified that with a little keyword research inside YouTube to find out, okay, what's hot. That turned out to be very popular. And then I'm going to show you I'm going to go to the homepage right now of Google, and I'm just going to grab that term. And if I do StarCraft 2 gameplay secret, my video is #1 for that term, with 1,280,000 competitive results, all going after that. And it's really, really cool. Now, another one, which is kind of interesting, and I'm just trying to see what's going on here. I just noticed that someone had replicated my video on Vidler, and they seem to be taking my exact same term. Actually, I think it's someone who has been on the webinar. They used my exact title, mixed a video, and then threw it up on Vidler. That's kind of interesting. Naughty, naughty, shouldn't be done. And now it looks like someone else did it with Meta Cafe as well, taking my highly successful video title and tried it on Meta Cafe. Let's have a look at that real quick. Okay, I just want to skip the ad here. But yeah, they've taken some of my tips, and it's actually the same video. So whoever was on the webinar basically ripped off my title, but they made their own video. That's fine, I don't mind that. But you can see that other people are really trying to do the same thing. They're seeing where I succeeded and replicating that. But I am still #1 despite that extra competition that suddenly came out of nowhere. So think about what people are searching for and target those exact terms, and make sure you get some backlinks, which is always essential. And we're going to cover some backlink techniques later on. And then, one thing you should do as well, just to make sure your video gets indexed quickly, is also ping it. Now, I use pingler.com, and basically if I'm ever working on a video, I would come over here and I would grab my title, throw it in there. You can see I'm doing that. Basically, pingler.com allows you to ping 80 different websites, okay, and blog search engines and stuff like that. So I'd grab the title from my video, grab the URL, and select the category. In my case, this is games and toys, and then just let it rip, and off it goes. It does have a capture, and let's ping away. Now, that's pinging currently, and again, you'll see this in the video. That's all well and cool, but that is how to get, first of all, some backlinks back to your video, and how to basically target the right terms. And that is very essential with video marketing. Now, with video marketing, do check out that webinar. I cover some very cool tactics, especially about building some really cool backlinks and getting on the first page of Google. So I'm not going to recover that ground here tonight. Go watch that webinar, and that will keep you straight. Now, another question, let me grab the questions again. I'm going to move on from that one, is keyword funneling. In keyword funneling, what are the max in URL and in link competition we should try to compete for? Well, let me show you some stuff here. Okay, I just pulled up a term I actually have a niche, or my finger in a niche for, and that's acne home remedies. A very cool niche, acne, but you can see even without quotes, there's 717,000 competitors. However, just to kind of get an idea, if you want to go after this and see how much competition there is, I always recommend you drill down. Now, for example, acne home remedies in quotes has 63,000 competitors, but here's something weird. I'm going to show you this. If you do an in URL : acne home remedy search, it suddenly jumps up to 139,000. How can that be? Well, again, there's all sorts of little things that you need to take into consideration. For example, if I do in title, there's 168,000. Well, how can that be if acne home remedies, just a general search, only produces 63? Well, Google doesn't always get it right, so you can't always trust the results it throws back. So what can you do? Well, there's different things you can do. First of all, I'm going to show you a really cool way you can jump around and find more stuff. If you look over on the new Google, they have what's called the Wonder Wheel. If you click on the More Search Tools, go check out the Wonder Wheel. And I'm going to show you a really cool technique here. This gives you other terms from their search database that are being searched for right now. Now, for example, look at this one, pimple home remedies. Now, that tells me there's 185,000 results for pimple home remedies. Now, I stumbled across this earlier on. I will admit I did a little test of this, okay? So, 165 or 185,000 results. That's pretty good. But what we want to do is drill down and see how competitive this market really is. Now, this is keyword funneling at its best. Okay, and this is a variant on it using their Wonder Wall, which is great. But if you do a search for pimple home remedies, just in quotes, that comes down to 129,000 results. So it's less, which is always good. And if it's under, I would say 150,000, if you're using some of my advanced SEO techniques, that's pretty good. So that answers part one. But in URL, only 229 results. That is amazing. That means this is ripe for the picking, if you pardon the pun there with dealing with pimples. But joking aside, and no pun absolutely intended there, if you go ahead and start targeting this, boom, you can grab this one really quick. And just to show you why I'm looking at this term, if I come over here to the Google AdWords tool, if I do a search for it, and I've got this bloody captures again, I hate these captures. As many of you know from previous videos, I'm dyslexic, so I hate those. But pimples home remedies, 14,000 searches a month. Acne pimple home remedies doesn't have that much, but let's rearrange it by global monthly searches. So there's all sorts of related terms, but pimple home remedies, and that is right here. That gets 14,000 searches a month. That means there is traffic for that, and you've just seen how easy it is to dominate that. But let's do in title as well. Basically, what I like to do is in title is I like to have it under about 100,000, preferably under 50,000, and the same with in URL. Now, if you go laser targeted, which if you know this technique, really shows you how laser targeted this can be, you want to do in title, then your keyword in quotes, and then in URL your keyword in quotes, you'll see just how many people are targeting that exact phrase. And in our case, only 201. So that means you can really nail that phrase. Now, that being said, let's also look at a couple of other things as well. Let's just say ingrown hair home remedies. Again, 41,000 results. And that's just without quotes, but let's do in quotes. Again, we want to drill down. 6,300 results for that exact phrase. You could easily dominate that one. In fact, if you look here, if I close the Wonder Wheel real quick, you can see there's videos right here. That would be a video marketing milestone right there. You can boom, jump straight into that. And then with our in URL check, 132. In title, only 221. Again, easy domination right there. Again, so with in URL, I like to have it preferably under 50,000. Same with in title, and then both preferably under 25,000. That way you know it's an easy market to dominate. So that's that answer to that question. And this applies to not just video marketing, this applies to article marketing or any other blog marketing, whatever you want to do. It really, this technique is really the cornerstone of finding good keywords. So that's that. Let's jump into the next one. Now, this is a really good question, and this is one that a lot of people are facing every single day. How can I see thousands of visitors a day? And this gentleman has his own website. It's an e-commerce website. You can go look at it right now. It's livecofriendly.com. And it's all about eco products, it's liveecofriendly.com. I got that wrong, but this gentleman's been struggling with traffic and he wants to avoid expensive AdWords campaigns and pay-per-click campaigns. How can he get traffic? Well, there's many ways to do it, and here's what I suggest. I took a look at the website earlier on, and it's actually a really well laid out website. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the website at all. Let me just close down these two tabs here, and you can see this here. Very well designed. They've got all the social bookmarking stuff across the top, Twitter, MySpace, Facebook. So they're really up there doing their thing. They've got a great looking website, all about living eco-friendly, but they're not getting the traffic. How can they do that? Well, let's have a look at a couple of things real quick. I haven't delved into this, so we're going to look at this live. So I'm looking at their stuff here. Okay, they've got a Twitter presence. I would really recommend you change your background to match your website. First things first. I see they've got a few things going on here with links, but everything. And they're starting to have a conversation, but they really need a lot more in here. I'm seeing that this has not actually been posted to. It starts here June 28th, August 3rd. April 2nd, it's very, very sporadic. It's not really a consistency. And the key to creating a social presence is consistency. Now, that I would recommend here, get hold of Twitter Commando. For a start, that's going to help you tap into, the industry and niche you're in is absolutely very much connected with social networking and every other type of social media out there. So you need to tap into that. Now, I would recommend you get some content written. I didn't see it on your website, but let's have a look here. I don't see a blog. That's one of the first things I would recommend is get a blog on here. Start talking about social, green subjects. Talk about trees. Talk about carbon dioxide, pollution. Start putting things out there that people are searching for out on the web right now. Get your blog going, get it filtered into all of the blog search engines, find keywords that are actually being searched for in your niche. And then with your blog, tie it, the end of every article, tie it into a product. Put your products in your blog as well, because that's going to be a natural traffic magnet for what you have going on. Now, you mentioned the gentleman in the question, I couldn't fit it really the full question in the PowerPoint there, but they also said they have some success with Price Grabber and everything else. Well, that's good. Okay, and the fact that you're putting your products out there is good. You also need to make sure you get into the Google products. You also need to, I would suggest, also look at Yahoo Shopping as well. They offer a similar model to Price Grabber where it's pay-per-click. That can help you as well with the direct sales, but I would also try and tap into viral traffic as well. Now, there's two things I would recommend. First is Firestorm SEO and Twitter Magnet. Those two combined will dramatically help you really increase your traffic, and you can use those as conduits to this site and really build up your traffic quite dramatically. And I'd recommend that to anyone who has a very strong online presence. And as I say, it's livecofriendly.com. You can see they've done an absolutely fantastic job with their website, but they haven't got the back end that is feeding traffic into it. Now, you can have a core, but you also need to have fingers out there to actually stand in front of your market. Now, another tip I'll give is also be active on eco-living forums. Okay, go where your target market actually is and engage them in conversation. For example, if you start finding a blog in your industry, now I can't remember the name of it. Let's see, top forums list. I'm just doing a search in Google here, and yeah, big-boards.com. Go to big-boards.com and see if you can do a search for any forums in your industry, and they rank them by the number of posts and the number of members and everything else. That will show you, hey, this is a big captured target market for me right now. So that would really help you. And I would also put out how-tos. A great little tip I would give is put out video how-tos and use some of the techniques, especially, for example, like the video sniper method that we mentioned in the webinar that we did. That could work very well for you as well. And having an active video presence, again, it's everyone who's eco-aware also tends to be socially media aware as well. So if you did a regular video post and then lead them all back to your website for the products and recommended, you could do some YouTube videos demonstrating some of the products you carry. Again, all of that stuff helps with the public perception. And as we say in the, mentioned in the Affiliate Movie Profits webinar, YouTube gets 2 billion views every single day. 2 billion videos played every single day. Those are traffic numbers you cannot sniff at. So go think about that, and that will help you get well on the way to crushing and getting the traffic you feel you need to make your website successful. Okay, another one. Let's have a look. We're at the 6:20 now, so we're doing quite well for time here. Another one is about link magnets. Now, as you are Inner Circle members, you have exclusive access to this. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. And go look at this particular technique. It is very, very powerful. If you are not using link magnets, seriously, this can really boost your rankings in Google. Now, that being said, we have a good question here, which I just want to go through. Which sites do you recommend using for Web 2.0 articles? Which have you had the most success with and have remained up, for a long time or permanently? Well, what I'm going to do is, I haven't done this before, but I'm going to do this because this question's been asked of me a couple of times. I have put together a list of the top Web 2.0 links that I use. And I'm actually going to paste them below this video replay when I actually go and publish it online. So I've got everything from PageRank 9 websites I use, PageRank, all the way through PageRank 1. Some great resources here. Go use them. And use these with your link magnets because there's no approval process, and that is essential. Now, another question I got was, which this is kind of like a multi-part question, but I kind of bundled it all together. How many links do you recommend from Web 2.0 article to your money site? Well, if you go look at this particular diagram, you'll see I only have one actual link from the main Web 2.0 article to the money site. The reason I do this is it offers a layer of protection from your website to the Web 2.0 site. That stops you getting Google slapped, which is very important with this technique, and it acts as a filter for all of the link juice generated. So go check out, if you haven't seen it already, again, I gave this to you for free as part of your Inner Circle membership, so go check that out, and you'll see just how powerful that strategy is. Now, the next kind of part of this multi-part question is, how many Web 2.0 sites do you recommend to link to your money site? Well, only one per link magnet. You can have multiple link magnets and you can have them targeting the same pages, but make sure each one of those is only per one link magnet. And that will absolutely help you spread the load, get more link juice to that page, but minimizing the risk by only having one link per Web 2.0 article. That way you're not blasting tons of backlinks to your page. You end up getting Google slapped or penalized in some other way and then losing any ranking you potentially have. And that is the secret of the success of the link magnet method. Now, let me just take a quick swig of soda here. Sorry, doing these webinars, you get dry throat very, very quickly. Now, next question I got, which is actually a very good question. This gentleman asked me, my question concerns the viability of building an authority site, membership site, in an area where there's large competitors, but trying to differentiate myself by simplifying the topic and presenting the material in a much different fashion. Now, this niche is about personal finance. Now, I've had a little experience here, as some of you may know. I do a lot with personal finance and mortgage refinancing, foreclosures. I've had some great success with that. It is a very, very complex subject. So your unique selling perspective you need to take here with this is really, as you say, simplifying the solution. You need to really focus on this is simple talk for simple finance and really push that in there. I think you have a great potential here. It's a very competitive market, so you need to use some of those keyword funneling techniques I talked about earlier on. And again, if you get the Firestorm SEO course, this will really help you target the right terms, get the low-hanging fruit, and create an authority site based around exactly what you're looking for. So I think that will really help you here. The viability of doing it, it's absolutely viable. In fact, I like going into the most competitive markets to cut my own slice of that pie. Now, you have a unique perspective where a lot of people, they don't want the public to understand what's going on. They want, no, just give me your money, we'll take care of it, you don't worry about it. So coming at it from that different angle may well work very well. I can't guarantee it, obviously, because it really depends on you. But the Firestorm SEO approach here will really help you build that authority that you are looking for. And if you target the right terms, you can absolutely dominate that. So yes, but anyone out there, if you're thinking about creating an authority site, you can do it in even the most competitive markets. You just have to find your cut, your little niche or sub-niche within that huge market, and focus on that, specialize on that, become recognized as the authority in that. Create a social environment, get connected with social networking, Twitter, Facebook, and everything else. Establish your credibility and authority, and literally the traffic will be attracted to you. And it will work very well. I mean, that's exactly what we did with internet marketing. It's what we do in a lot of our niches that we're targeting as well, and it really does help. So hopefully that will answer your question there, and that will give you the ability to go and take a chance, go do this. And again, to help you with that, if you haven't got it already, I would recommend Firestorm SEO. That will really give you the tools and skills you need to go and absolutely do exactly what you're wanting to in this particular market. Now, a very interesting question, which I want to spend a little time on, is what were my influences and what would I consider my top 10 influences for becoming successful in my internet business? Well, that is a very good question, and one I really hadn't considered before. So I actually had to stop today and think about it. Who has been my biggest influence for my success? Well, the number one spot has to go to my father. It taught me to, the absolute guts of business, the actual raw meat and potatoes of what it takes to be a successful businessman. Using common sense, I come from a military background and a military family. So very much no nonsense, cut through all the crap and all the hype and the bull crap, look at what really is there and work with what you've got. And again, it's common sense really won out. And a lot of people today, I mean, we look at our generation and, the new generation coming up and, the PlayStation generation, the Xbox 360 generation. And, if you've got kids yourself, pretty much they get given everything. When I was a kid, I wanted a computer. Okay, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I wanted a computer. Back then, it was the Commodore VIC-20. Now, if any of you are old enough to remember the Commodore VIC-20, it was one of the very, very first home computers you could get your hands on. This was before PCs. The Atari was the game console of choice back then, and Pong was still very popular. Okay, yeah, I'm showing my age here. Excuse me. So I wanted to get a Commodore VIC-20, and my dad said, I was begging my dad, Dad, can I get one? He goes, no, you're going to have to go buy one. Can't afford that. You're going to have to go get a job or do something, go mow lawns, go do something, earn some money. Again, it was also the time when you could actually do that safely. So I started my own little business, and I would go around, I created leaflets, and I was only like 12. No, actually, no, I was younger than that, I was 10. So I printed off some leaflets with with the school's photocopier, and I went handing these around. They were just like standard, half-page little flyers, and I went round, did that. They called my home, and I went cutting the grass. And you know what? I wasn't making enough money. I was making good money, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't enough, and I knew it wasn't going to be enough. So I started washing cars as well and doing all sorts of other things. Again, you can only work so much in one weekend, you know what I mean? So I started, a few of my friends got wind of the money I was making and said, hey, can we do that as well? So I started hiring my classmates. And at the end of the day, I took a 50% cut of everything they did. And I ended up not actually working at all on this, except for the management side of things, telling the other kids where to go, and I took a 50% cut. And I was raking it in. And I tell you what, that life lesson right there made me the success I am today, because that really did show me the potential of working for yourself and working smart. And again, my dad kind of guided me a little bit. He didn't stick his nose in too much, but he kind of kept an eye on me and made very subtle suggestions that made me think about things, and off I went. So anyway, that I would say is my number one influence. The second influence, honestly, the School of Hard Knocks. Now, I've worked for myself, as some of you know, most of my life. I've worked all sorts of other jobs as well, don't get me wrong, to make ends meet. Not every business I ran was a success. Some of my very early experiences certainly taught me a lot of great life lessons. And if you've ever watched the movie Deadliest Catch, I used to do deep sea trawling and deep sea lobster fishing. Absolutely insane stuff. And I've worked in all sorts of different other jobs, but most of the time I've worked for myself. And it's not always been a success. It's been a struggle sometimes. But every single failure has shown me the way to succeed. It's taught me what not to do. And so certainly the School of Hard Knocks was also a great influence. One of my idols growing up, and someone that I very much had a great deal of respect for, especially when you know their life story, was Richard Branson. Again, I'm from Britain. So for him, for me, he is the ultimate entrepreneur. Starting off with a mail order business with music, turning it into the multi-billion-dollar empire he's created today. And if you ever get a chance to read his biography, I did at a very young age. It really did inspire me to become an entrepreneur. And then as my kind of a school career, I was at school, put myself through college and everything else, as that kind of fell by the wayside. And, that really kind of gave me the impetus to take a leap forward, especially with the online stuff that was really kind of 94. That was when that really started taking off and I really became interested in the internet. Now, if you want to talk about marketers, which I follow very closely, I wouldn't say so much influencers, although they certainly have influenced some of my success and my techniques for product launches and stuff like that. Obviously, Frank Kern. That guy is just so laid back. He's horizontal. Never underestimate the Kernmeister. Absolutely laser focused. He has a marketing brain that I think is, I swear the guy's got a supercharger strapped to the back of his head. Absolutely brilliant guy. If you ever get a chance to meet him, he is a top dude. And he is one of the most genuine marketers out there. And very, very successful, but you wouldn't tell it. You'd think he's just a lazy surfer bum. And that's the persona he likes to put out there. But that guy is always on. He's always thinking marketing and how to, he's the kind of guy that you'd throw an idea at, or someone would say something, he goes, actually what you need to do is this, and come back out with a whole tirade of marketing ideas. So yeah, Frank Kern has been a major influence. Stephen Pierce. His focus on the process, the sales process, has helped me, again, like I said, cut out all the crap, the extraneous crap, focus on paths that customers can follow through a sales funnel. And he's very no-nonsense, and he's very much about always continuously improving. So he's been a big influence. Mike Filsaime, again, he's a human dynamo. And I very much like to watch him in terms of what he does, how he does it. I mean, he's only been really going since 2004. So he's not been online and in this sphere that long, although we're in 2010 now, so I suppose 6 years. But he has been very successful and created multiple seven-figure businesses in that short time. And another one who has been a very major influence, especially with my product creation stuff, and my launch strategies, has been Anik Singhal. And I've had the very great pleasure of working with him on this Affiliate Movie Profits product. He got the attention, somehow some of my stuff got his attention, and both him and Saj have wanted to work together on this with some of my video marketing success. So this has been absolutely phenomenal, and I've really, really enjoyed working with this guy. The guy is amazing. If you ever get a chance to work with him or go to any seminar or webinar that he's attending, I certainly suggest going to see that, because the guy has a mine of information in his head. So that's only 7 influences. And I couldn't really think of more, because honestly, I very much cut my own path in terms of my influences. And I've kind of come at it from a different angle. A lot of people have got their mentors and stuff like that. I really don't. I've kind of gone outside of the normal. I'm the marketing maverick, in some ways. So I would, that was a very short question with a very long answer. But again, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, look to yourself. You are going to be the captain of your own ship. You are going to be the one steering whatever waters may bring. And if there's an iceberg out there, steer away from it. You've got to really go into this with your eyes open and think about who has made you the person you are and who do you want to be. There's nothing wrong with finding a successful marketer out there. I mean, for example, myself or Frank, Stephen Pierce, Filsaime or Singhal, anyone like that. Look at them and try and model your business on a successful model that's already established. If you want to use me as a reference, then fine. Use me as your influence. Look how I've structured my business. Look how I launch products. Look how I communicate, how I handle webinars and things like this. It's all very successful. And if it works, it works. Why try and reinvent the wheel? Emulate someone. I don't mean copy them. I don't want you going out there copying the exact same content I'm doing or any of these other marketers are doing, but emulate the general approach to marketing. And they can really influence and become your success model in your own right. So yeah, again, a very short question, a little bit of a long answer, but I wanted to show you that, yeah, you can do this too. And my screen went black there because I haven't moved anything on the... Hope that no one saw that. So, okay. So anyway, let's move on. Last couple of questions. Question 8. Search term tagging. Question was, I've installed the search term tagging plugin on my blog, and I just wanted to know the best way to use the keywords that show up. What would be good? Would these be good keywords to write articles on, set up link magnets, or Firestorm sites? Actually, that is an absolutely blindingly good question. Now, if you ever saw the search term tagging video we put out as part of the promo for Firestorm SEO, I shared this very powerful concept. Basically, every time someone finds your website, it will determine whether it's from a search engine. It will extract the keywords from that query and say, hey, you were found for this term on this article. And it helps optimize a blog post or your website for terms that you're being found for. And it helps you increase your ranking for that. Now, I only talked about using this plugin, but this takes it a step further. And it's probably one of the best questions I've seen in regards to this topic. Would you write articles on these terms? Yes. If you're being found for a term and you're being found on a regular basis for a term, then certainly go create a piece of content targeting that term and make sure that no one else will ever be, that you'll skyrocket to the top of the search engines for that term. It's a great, great little setup there. Now, in terms of setting up link magnets or Firestorm sites, I would say only if it uncovers a lot of search volume for that particular term. If you're only getting 2 or 3 visits, then no. If you're getting hundreds for that, then absolutely make sure you absolutely dominate that keyword. And go look at your lists of search terms that you're being found for and see currently where you're ranking and what the search volume is for that keyword. And then you'll be able to determine from there whether you write an article, set up link magnets or Firestorm sites for them. I would say start with an article, because if you're being found for that term and you're not targeting that term directly, it generally means that the competition is fairly low. But just writing an article will usually actually suffice. If it's a more competitive term, and say your example, you're on page 3 and you write an article and you only get to page 2, then yeah, go do a link magnet for that term or a Firestorm site. I would start with a link magnet first, see how that progresses. If it doesn't, then do a Firestorm site and really pump it out from there. So that was an absolutely great question, and I love questions like this because it takes a concept that I've presented to you guys and then expands upon it. What next? What else can I do? That's the kind of thinking that's going to turn you into a success. You really don't need to be spoon-fed techniques or ideas. Think about, okay, what else can I do? I'll give you an example. I was at a mastermind session recently, and we were talking about list building. I was with some very high-end marketers that you all know. And we were just talking about, okay, what if we could build a 500,000 list in a week? How would we do it? And I said, well, why stop at 500,000? Why not go for 2 million or 5 million? And they looked at me like I was on crack. And I said, well, think about it for a minute, guys. What would you do differently to build a 5 million list in the same term, in the same time frame, than you would 500,000? And we started talking in that term, and we came up with all sorts of ideas that we would never have thought of because we raised those numbers, we raised the bar. And that's what you need to do in your business as well. You need to raise the bar of excellence and shoot higher. Now, if we applied all these techniques and we only got 4 million or 3 million or even just 1 million, that's still a lot more than we were originally targeting. So again, think about raising the bar. What else can you do? How else can I build upon my success? What else can we do in this period of time? Continuously ask yourself questions that are going to push you into a different way of success thinking. And that will really help you with your business and really develop it beyond anything that you can imagine. So that was a great question. And I really love questions like that, guys. So if you have questions in the future, and again, make sure you get your questions in here. I will pick them out from random from all the questions I get asked. But I do want to make sure that you're asking your questions as quickly as possible so that I can see, okay, well, this one's a common question, this one's a common question. And if you've got questions like this, perfect. That's what I love to see, because that shows me that people are out there taking the bull by the horns and really pushing their envelopes. And that's really cool. Now, another question I got asked was, what are the best backlinks to beat the competition? Well, as you know, there's lots of different backlink types out there. It could be RSS links, article links, blog comments, and all the rest of it. But the best general ones are actually profile links, because they, anywhere where you can create a profile tends to have a lot of activity, a lot of viral traffic, and generally a high page rank. And the authority from one of those links tends to be greater than anything else. Now, EDU links work very well and have a lot of authority, but if you have too many of them, it looks suspicious. Same with .government, .gov websites. Same thing. Too many of those look suspicious. So throw a few of those in there. But if you want to grab some quick profile links, let me show you this little tip real quick. If you come over to Google and type in URL : memberlist.php and then space and then the word vBulletin, you will kick up millions of member lists for vBulletin. If you go create an account with those places, a lot of those places will allow you to create an account, add profile links to your profile, and those can be very high authority. Now, there's lots of other variants on this, and these are what a lot, unfortunately, of the link spammers out there use. So, you're going to see a lot of spam and crap out there. But generally, those work very well. Now, if you want high-quality backlinks, I suggest Paul Johnson's backlink packs and Angela Edwards' backlink packs. They put out backlinks every single month. You will find them on the Warrior Forum. Very, very good resource for marketers if you're not already on there. And if you just do a search for, Paul Johnson backlink packs or Angela Edwards backlink packs on Google, again, you'll find them there as well. They are very, very cheap. I think Paul's is $8 a month and Angela's is only $5 a month, which is absolute peanuts when you consider the amount of research and effort they've gone to find you these very high page rank backlinks. And again, those tend to be the best backlinks out there for really dominating the competition. And again, I think Paul actually has still running his backlink service where he will actually build the backlinks for you pretty cheap. And there are other places out there that will do it for you. But I think Paul Johnson's is about $150 a month. And he will do like 80 backlinks for you from these high PR websites and save you doing it. You can do it manually yourself and you can automate the process a little bit with some cool tools like the RoboForm and stuff like that. But if you want to save yourself the hassle and pay for it, you can't go wrong with Paul Johnson's service. So that's a quick little tip there for backlinks. And lastly, last question I want to go over is, what is the best content solution for Firestorm sites? It seems to be very time demanding, and is autoblogging the best bet, and what platform do I recommend? Well, it's actually quite a few questions there in one, so let me go over this. Firestorm sites are kind of like satellite sites that, if you remember the old days of SEO, some of you may have been around back in the, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, used to be able to create doorway sites, doorway pages, targeting a specific keyword that would link back to your homepage. Well, Google kind of got wise to that pretty quick, and no wonder. But what you can do now is, if you're smart enough, and this is what Firestorm SEO covers, was creating satellite sites on different IPs and different hosting accounts and stuff like that target one particular term. But these are full websites and active websites that funnel traffic back to a main website. It's a very, very powerful concept, but if you have 10 satellite sites, generating content for them is a pain in the ass. So yes, I do tend to set up 10 articles on each one, targeting a particular term, but for actual regular content and repeat content, yes, I will use auto-blogging. And the platform I use is WP-O-Matic or WP Robot. Now, WP-O-Matic is free, and does very, very well with converting RSS feeds to posts. WP Robot is a lot more intensive. It's also a lot more expensive. And generally, honestly, you're okay with WP-O-Matic. And you can get that from the WordPress main directory. Let me just see if I've still got it up here. Yeah, WordPress.org. Go to WordPress.org/extend/plugins, and then just do a search for WP-O-Matic. And it's free. Just download it, pop it on your website, get some RSS feeds, content feeds from either article directories, or you can do it from news results or what have you. Just whatever you want to use that you're allowed to use. Obviously, you want to stay right with copyright, but plug that into your website, and that will automatically generate keyword-loaded, targeted content. It's very, very cool stuff. Now, as you are Inner Circle members, I also suggest you go look at a course that we put up here in the special reports section, which is called RSS Mastery. Go grab a copy of that and you'll see how we generate some very cool content orientated RSS feeds that you can then plug into WP-O-Matic for great content. And we show you some real kick-ass stuff in there. So again, that'll be another recommendation of a course for you that you have access to for free as part of your Inner Circle. So that's it really for this week. That's 10 questions. We're just under the hour here. And I do suggest you go look at this webinar. It's themanicmarketer.com/AMP webinar. Go grab yourself a copy of that. It's about 2 hours long. So make sure you got a couple of cups of coffee going and watch that, because we have some real kick-ass content that can help you make a lot of money. And I'm giving you these techniques away for free. So go watch that, and I will see you in next week's webinar here, the week 3 of the Ask Sean sessions. Again, guys, go ask your question. You'll see the link either above this video here where you can ask your question for next week. The sooner you get your questions in, the better. That way I can do more prep work if I need to for your particular question. And I will look forward to seeing you then. One other thing I should tell you. We do have coming up, and again, this is Inner Circle members only. We're doing a kind of special report coming up, which is called Simple Cash Magnets. Now, you are going to get this product for free. To the public, it's going to cost them $37. You get it for free as part of your Inner Circle membership. Now, that's going to come up in the next week or so. So again, keep an eye out for that. And also, one other thing I should mention is that we are continuously adding new content pretty much every day now to the members area with tips, tricks, and secrets. So make sure you're checking here regularly, because we have so much new content, it's absolutely blowing my mind. And we have some great people contributing ideas and suggestions, and I'm racking my brains every single day, giving you every little trick and tip I know. So again, stay active in the members area. Check back pretty much every day, and you'll see new content coming in that's going to help you succeed in your business. So that's it. Let's wrap it up there. I'm going to go and grab my dinner, and I will see you real soon in, obviously the replay here, other videos we're adding, and in next week's Ask Sean session. So take care, and I'll see you soon.